currently working in the areas that were most impacted by the February and March flooding events in 2021. These areas include the Richmond, Clarence, Nambucca, Macleay, Hastings, Manning and Hawkesbury rivers and their major tributaries. The project is being jointly funded by the New South Wales and Australian governments in response to disaster-declared high rainfall and flooding events. The River Rehabilitation project supports impacted waterways and rural landholders in two key areas. The first is targeted riverbank rehabilitation works focused on the protection of high-value agricultural, cultural and environmental natural assets. The second provides direct support to flood-impacted landholders through the delivery of the riverbank erosion support process. This support provides tailored technical advice on what landholders can do to improve and manage riverbanks, and provides case management support to navigate the approval pathways required to implement in-stream works. This process also aims to strengthen the quality of applications required for waterway approvals, therefore reducing delays. Today we are on the Wilson River in the Hastings catchment at one of our project sites for on-ground works. We are undertaking highly targeted riverbank rehabilitation works that were identified following a scientific prioritisation process and are focused on the protection of high-value agricultural, cultural and environmental natural assets. This site was prioritised due to the presence of key assets at risk of erosion and with high recovery potential. The assets protected and future-proofed by undertaking this project include high-value agricultural land, threatened ecological communities, groundwater-dependent ecosystems, threatened and protected species, freshwater fish communities and key fish habitat. This project site is located on an unconfined section of the Wilson River that had channel widening throughout. The downstream portion of the reach was actively eroding, with a section of the left bank retreating up to 30 metres following the 2021 flood events. In addition, there was an existing in-stream rock grade control structure that was at significant risk of being damaged, resulting in further accelerated and ongoing bed and bank erosion. Our construction delivery partner, the Soil Conservation Service, has installed 6 rock groins, rock revetment, timber pile fields, a rock apron and flood chute armouring.
This project's really important for the Wilson River. What it does is actually ensure we've got long-term protection of upstream riparian environments and ensuring that the nick zone doesn't progress any further up the river and cause future damage to not only the river system but also adjacent landholders' farmland. Over a 5-year period, this site lost about 35,000 cubic metres of sediment, which ultimately impacts downstream waterways and users. So it's really important to deal with the erosion sediment issues coming off this site as well, not only the upstream environments. This site was quite complex. It has flood runners and flood chutes impacting on the site and makes the hydraulics really complex. So we engaged a sub-consultant to assist with the modelling of this work using a digital elevation model and 3D modelling that we used to also construct the works as well.
There was a total of 2,030 native tube stock planted on the mulched batters of the riparian zone in April 2023. Native endemic species planted included lomandra, sandpaper figs, casuarinas, lily-pillies, blackwood and forest red gum. Not only does this revegetation support riparian zone stability and resilience, it assists in creating biodiverse habitat and wildlife corridors. To support the on-ground works, we will be engaging with neighbouring landholders by providing guidance and advice to best manage their riparian zones. This will improve overall resilience of the river and provide ongoing protection of the assets present.
One of the nice features of this big project was that it incorporated a large revegetation component, and that's allowed us to protect or re-establish a riparian corridor over this impacted section. I've extended it by putting in a lot of eucalypts through here and fencing wide, so we'll get a koala corridor linking the veg over there with right up through to the hills. A small takeaway for other landholders that perhaps don't have such a major erosion issue is to fence out the riparian zone, let as much vegetation grow as possible to prevent these sort of problems developing. These are really bulletproof river works, the best that we've ever done, so I'm pretty hopeful that it's going to protect a large section of the river here.